What's up, everybody, and welcome back to a weekly gaming news show. I'm here with Trenell, as always. We're a little bit late. We're working through some technical issues, but we are here on Sunday night, September 23rd.
Let me apologize for last week's show. We were having some issues that we're still trying to iron out this week, which is why we're coming to you guys so late. Man, I have no idea what was going on. Hopefully we got it fixed, and we're glad that you guys are here joining us live. Mount Lover is in the house. Round of applause for Mount Lover being a trooper and also our stream technician. Thank you very much for helping us out. But yeah, I'll let you continue your intro. Sorry, I had to get that out there though.
We're here now. We in.
We in there.
We got news. It was a big news week.
Yeah,
there's a lot of news. But before we get into that, how was your week?
Week was actually pretty eventful. I had a lot of family time going on. Spent some time with my girlfriend's sister and her fiance. We hung out. Went to my mom's house, had dinner over there. Had breakfast the other day down at the Cracker Barrel. Got some fried chicken. It was so damn good.
What is fried chicken?
I guess it's chicken fried in chicken grease. I don't know, dude. I have no. Isn't that all chicken? I don't know. But it was delicious. That's all I have to say. And then we went and did a little bit of shopping out in Baltimore.
Nice.
To round out the weekend, and now we're here. So what about you? What was you up to?
My week was pretty uneventful. I had swim practice 4 times. Then I had a mathnasium twice.
Mathnasium?
Yeah, it's like a math tutor. Well, they're not math tutors. They teach advanced math skills for kids.
Dang, man.
So yeah,
I suck at math too. So your daughter probably could tutor me right now.
Yeah, she's at fractions. So I had to buy a workbook. She's struggling with fractions. So I ordered a workbook. I'll sit down with her and help her through the fractions, the addition and multiplication of fractions.
That's what's up, man.
She's a grade and a half ahead of what grade she's in.
Oh wow, a grade and a half. That's what's up, man. About to go in there and show them kids what's good and with the math skills. I appreciate that. Round of applause for top tier math skills. But yeah, other than that, the only thing I've been doing is catching up on my Marvel Strike Force. I've been slacking on that, but now I'm back up on that. Got me Thanos, which I'm trying to level up. I got Thanos.
You got Thanos? Oh,
I got Thanos,
man,
3-star.
So good. He's so good.
He's really good. He's really good.
I have been saving up for like a month, expecting the Star-Lord event. I had no idea because I had like 75 Thanos shards. I had no idea when I would try to get him and have a chance to get him again. And when he showed up, I dumped everything into him. I got him. He's I think 4-star. No, I think he's 4-star. Okay. Because we've still been doing those raids, but I got him up to like 22,000 power.
Ooh, yeah, mine's just starting off. He's a 3-star. I got him up to like level 30 just so that I can unlock some of his abilities. But yeah, it's gonna take me a while to get him up there. But they still have the shards available, so I can increase them.
They extended the raid too, so that's cool.
Good, yeah. So I'm gonna have to get up on that.
You gotta rock him with. I've been rocking him with Gamora and Yondu. He's
Gamora
a battery.
And Yondu, yeah.
He feeds them energy, so they always have their ult up. It's crazy.
Oh man, yeah, that's dope. Yeah, what I really am looking forward to is I want Groot and I want Doctor Strange and the Scientist Supreme. Those 3 characters, I think if I get those, I'm set. I'm not wasting no more time.
Let me tell you something. Groot is garbage. If you don't have Rocket, you don't want Groot.
Well, that's what I'm pretty close to getting Rocket, but I do like his abilities though.
Groot is garbage.
What?
He's garbage. I'm telling you,
man. The freaking the death blocks or whatever.
Yeah, but he's garbage. He's so slow. His healing is garbage. His attack is garbage. He's garbage. He's garbage by himself. If you have him with Rocket, he's a beast. Okay. But without Rocket, he's pretty useless, to be quite honest.
I'll have to wait and see. But I definitely want Doctor Strange, and I definitely want Scientist Supreme though. Those are my 2 top wish list characters right now.
That guaranteed offense down from Doctor Strange is lovely.
That is lovely, and then turning all the positive effects to negative effects.
Oh yeah,
and then do that right, and then hit with Scarlet Witch to double time it. Oh, So
I
good.
I didn't even think about using.
Scarlet Witch is dope, man. Scarlet Witch is dope.
I use that with Doctor Strange, and then I just get Crossbones to blow everybody up.
Yeah, Crossbones. He's become like my strongest character again. I got pretty lucky on a drop, and I got some shards for him, so he's up there. But enough of our Strike Force recap. Sometimes we like to do that, and we hope you guys don't mind. Let's go ahead and jump into the news. We do have an update from last week's show. We talked a lot about Nintendo because they had the Nintendo Direct. They talked about their Switch Online service, and one of those topics were the NES games that will be available with Nintendo Online. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and get into that update right now. Boogie, what we got?
So we talked about the NES Classic Joy-Cons. Everybody was like, "Oh, they're so cute, they're so cool." What we did find out, it was rumored last, but it has now been verified that those Joy-Cons will only work with the emulated NES games. You can't use them to play Splatoon. You can't use it to play Super New Mario Brothers Wii U
Remake Deluxe for full price. $60 out of your pockets right now, please.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they're only good for the emulated NES games, which is, I guess, is fine. I mean, all you really, because when I first saw them, I looked at the controller. I immediately said, "There's not enough buttons."
Yeah, it's not enough buttons. It's an actual NES controller or NES Joy-Con. It only has that BA start select. That's it. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I don't know why you would expect to be able to play it with anything else. Right. And Nintendo's been really, really shitty with that because they have the Wii U adapter. The GameCube controller adapter, right? But you can't. I don't think you can use that on a lot of games either. I think you can use it on some. I think you can use it on like Mario Kart and stuff like that. Right. Stuff that was on the Wii U and maybe has a GameCube version. But yeah, other than that, yeah, you're not really doing it. The music might be a bit loud. Well, you know I like my music loud, but I can turn it down for you guys. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it's Nintendo. It's not surprising that they would charge you $60 for controllers that you can only use in a very limited capacity. Right. So
you have to, first off, you have to be subscribed to their service. So that's a cost.
So you can't even get them unless you're paying the money. You have to pay the money to give the money for controllers that you can only use if you are given the money. Right. And I really, really don't want to talk about Nintendo anymore, even though we do have some, I think we have a story.
We do have one more story.
We have one more story that we're going to get into later. So we'll save the rest of our Nintendo reactions for you guys later on. And now, speaking of Nintendo, it is one of our few emotes that we have available. If you are watching us on Twitch, I'll go ahead and post them in the chat right now. So if you're following us on Twitch and you have Frank or Faye Z, I believe this is only a Chrome extension. I don't know if it goes to like Firefox or Edge. I don't know why you would ever use Edge to begin with.
I use Edge. Stop it,
Boogie. You are the most unpopular opinionated ass motherfucker I've ever met. All the unpopular opinions. Here's Boogie. No, but
it works.
Sorry, I don't give a what the fuck Edge is. Okay, so if you have Frank or Faye Z, we do have a few emotes that you guys can spam in the chat. This is exclusive to our Twitch viewers. So if you're watching us on YouTube, come on over to Twitch. You can watch us live, and you can also spam some emotes. And with that said, we can go ahead and get into the weekly icebreaker, which is a question that we like to ask of each other to get a sense of where we are on certain gaming-related topics. What's up?
Yama, you can't be hating on Netscape. That is the original.
Netscape? Oh, man. Oh, man. I got many viruses from Netscape on my first computer. Yeah, that was back in the day. But yeah, the weekly icebreaker, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. And this kind of plays into what we've been talking about because sometimes we like to go off the cuff and talk about stuff that are more pop culture related, and this is one of those stories. But Boogie, I'll let you go ahead and introduce it. Our weekly icebreaker. What we got?
So, if you haven't heard, Disney or Marvel has announced that the Eternals are coming to the MCU after Avengers 4, the next
Right.
version of Avengers. There'll be a movie coming out after that. And I actually like the Eternals. And if you don't know, Thanos is an Eternal. The when I got into the Eternals, it was in the 80s. I was in middle school. I mean, not middle school, grade school. Elementary school.
Yeah.
And I read that series. That was one of my favorite series. So I'm excited, but it looks like it'll probably be the Thanos version, because the original version of the Eternals didn't have Thanos.
Right.
I think it was like the second version of them had Thanos in it. But anyway, that's coming. I'm kind of excited about that. I like the Eternals.
I mean, the Eternals could be a very, very good segue into introducing mutants into the MCU as well. Because if you go back into like the way, way beginning of the Marvel universe, I think it was like the Celestials came to Earth and they like messed with the human genome, and so
they made essentially to rule over the humans.
Exactly. So they created like 3 different classes of being. You had like the underdwellers. I can't remember what they were called, but they were like the kind of like similar to like the Morlocks. They were just like ugly in appearance, and then you had humans who during like in a certain amount of time their powers would manifest, and that's what mutants became. And then you had the Eternals, who were pretty much like these godly, perfect beings or whatever. Right. So they could definitely use that as a segue into introducing mutants. I hope it doesn't take them too long to do that, because I need some X-Men, man. And with this whole MCU thing going on,
I want my
it's like I don't know how they're gonna introduce it in a way that works.
I think that they've done a good job. I think
they have. I have full faith in them, but I just the speculation drives me crazy.
Right.
Just thinking about it drives me crazy. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the main question. What Marvel character or team that has not been on TV or in theaters in the past 20 years would you like to see? I'm guessing you already have one.
I want to see X-Force. I mean, no, not X-Force. I'm sorry, not X Factor.
X Factor.
X Factor. That was their spin-off of the X-Men. It was led by Cyclops.
Right, when he defected from the X-Men, he created
the X Factor.
X Factor. So who's X-Force? I always forget.
X-Force is Deadpool, and they've been hinted at in Deadpool 2. Yeah, because Domino, Cable, and Deadpool are all X-Force.
Right. Yeah, X-Force would be pretty dope.
I think they're coming.
That would be awesome. You know what? I think there was a second iteration of X Factor after the main X-Men went back to the X-Men team proper, and they kind of became like this detective agency.
Yep.
So I think that the second iteration of X Factor would also be pretty dope.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's being done right now. A lot of the Marvel TV shows, I honestly have not been watching.
I mean, but they got
because they have Legion.
I have to go back to that.
I heard it's so good, man.
Like I said, I got about a third of the way in, and I just missed parts of it, and I was lost, and I just never went back to it.
Yeah.
I watched Cloak and Dagger, which is okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet either.
I watched all of the Netflix and Marvel guys. I like most of those.
That Daredevil season 3, boy. I can't wait for that.
And Iron Fist, actually, the season 2 Iron Fist is much better than what it was last season.
I haven't finished that either. I have to finish. I have to finish freaking Luke Cage season 2. I have to watch Jessica Jones season 1 and 2, because that just released not too long ago.
You haven't watched Jessica Jones?
I have not watched Jessica Jones.
You haven't seen Killgrave?
I have not watched Jessica Jones, man.
Hey, look,
I haven't watched it. I need to.
Okay, we're going to end the stream early. Enough to start on Jessica Jones.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. We got some Marvel binge watching to do, but no, I have to watch that. And then I have to watch Defenders as well. I mean, I watched Daredevil. Like, I love Daredevil season 1 and 2. Punisher was dope. I like Luke Cage. It's just I haven't really found a lot of time to sit down and finish that story. But man, it's pretty dope. I like how they incorporate like real issues in Harlem and stuff like that. It's dope, man. Especially if you're black. This is real black over there.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's one of the reasons I like it so.
It's a really good show.
Me. People look like me.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, let us know what you guys think down in the comments below. And we don't really talk about comics or, Marvel cinematic universe and movies and stuff. We don't do this often, so we would definitely like to know what you guys think about it, and what teams or characters you would like to see represented on the big screen or on TV. Let us know down in the comment section below. We would love to go back and forth with you guys on that. But now we can go ahead and get into the actual news with our quick hits, and these are short style stories and articles that came out. What doesn't necessarily deserve a deep dive. That's my phone going off. But
we just want to talk about it anyway.
Yeah, we want to talk about them anyway. So and some of these are pretty interesting, and some of them play on some of the stories that we talked about in the past. So let's go ahead and get things started. The first story that we're going to talk about in the quick hits is revolves around Interplay. And the last time we talked about these guys, it was quite a while ago.
Yeah,
we talked about Interplay and how it was essentially being shut down.
Yeah, or close to it.
Or close to it, yeah. Interplay being one of the company behind a lot of cult classic video games. For me, they were the guys that did the Earthworm Jim series. Yes. Back in the day on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. MDK, yes, that's also MDK, one Mount Lover. Yeah. Thank you for that. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. So what's going on with Interplay lately?
Yeah, so Interplay has a game coming out. And based on the
I don't know why my fucking music always just like pauses itself. I don't know why that happens. Yeah. Spotify is getting on my goddamn nerves. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, based on the performance of the next game that they have Bard's Tale 4 coming out. If it hits, the original co-founder by the executive Brian Fargo says he would want to buy back the company instead of letting them go under.
Oh snap!
There's no. I mean, he announced this on Twitter. I mean, it could have been a drunk tweet, but he's like, this is my baby. I want her back, type thing.
Yeah, man.
So it'd be interesting to see how Baldur's Gate does. I mean, that's another game that either people love it, or people hate it, or people don't know what the hell it is. It's one of those things. It's not one of those a casual pickup game. It's either you all. So it'd be interesting to see how that does and how this comes out.
Right. They also made the best 2D fighting game, Clay Fighter. God,
I remember that. That game was actually pretty fun.
It was actually pretty fun. Yeah, I remember that as well. But yeah, I agree. It would be nice to see, Interplay, get back to, where they belong, because they have a lot of games that a lot of gamers, hold to heart. So it'd be really nice if he can get the rights back to it and, continue making games that people can enjoy. What's next in our quick hits? We got a couple more stories for you guys. This is actually pretty interesting as well. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
We've got
Valve and Ubisoft.
Ubisoft getting fined in, I think it's France, right? It was France.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, what they did is they don't have proper return policies. In France, companies are supposed to have 14. Not companies, but consumers are supposed to have 14 days to cancel or return a product. And Ubisoft's Uplay store does not have a return policy at all, while Valve's store has a return policy, but only if you play the game for 2 hours or less.
Or more. Yeah.
So those both seem to go contrary to the law that the French authorities have in place, and Valve and Ubisoft got fined. The fines aren't outrageous. I think it's 147,000 euros for Valve and 180,000 euros for Ubisoft. So I mean, it's a bit of a slap on the wrist. It doesn't seem like it's enough to make them change. I can imagine if they don't make the proper changes, they'll get fined again, and the fines will escalate.
Right. Yeah, and this is just one of those instances where not everything that happens in America, can go is the same in other countries.
Right.
Their return policy law is universal across all marketplaces. Steam and Uplay are not exempt. And while I think that Steam's return policy is fair, for what it is. They disagree. They disagree. It'll be interesting to see what happens going forward, because they actually haven't made any
changes
to the return policy. It's still the, if you play the game for 2 hours or less, you can return it. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if they actually make any solid changes. Uplay doesn't have any return policy at all, though.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And this we talked about this with Sony.
Your mic went out for me.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, Sony was having the same issue where was it last week we talked about it, where they don't have a return policy. They were sent to cease and desist.
Yeah.
So
we'll have to wait and see, man. Gaming is definitely a huge part of a lot of people's lives, and these kind of stores have been gaining traction because essentially these guys have just been getting away with breaking the law across the globe, all over the place. So these commissions are reeling these guys back and making some solid changes, which in the end is good for consumers.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, this is only in France, so we will not see these any change in our policy unless
at least
something
not
else.
here in North America. The thing about it being in France, it's going to affect all the EU countries, because a lot of those EU members have very similar laws, and they do that on purpose to make trade, commerce, and travel easy between the member countries. So
right.
if this is an issue in France, it's going to be an issue in Belgium and Italy and Germany, most of the other EU countries.
Yeah. So we'll just it'll be a trickle down effect, just like everything else that's been happening. As far as gaming and especially with loot boxes, we're gonna get that same trickle down effect. So tune in next week when we discuss which company is forcing the same two Uplay and Steam to change their terms of service and their return policy. We'll have that for you next week. Because I'm sure there'll be one. Let's go ahead and move on. Now we're talking about THQ Nordic, who's been on a shopping spree as of late. Last week, we talked about, and this was we reiterated the fact that they own the rights, or they have obtained the rights to Kingdoms of Amalur, but they have ran into some problems with EA, because EA still owns the publishing rights, I believe.
Right, they own the publishing rights to the original game.
The original game, so they were having issues making a remaster. But now news has come out that THQ Nordic has obtained the rights to 2 new IPs, one being Alone in the Dark and the other being Act of War. Alone in the Dark, I'm familiar with. I've seen this game, multiple times. I've seen it on the shelves, in GameStop and whatnot.
Right.
I haven't actually played it.
Yeah, it's a survival horror game.
Yeah, survival horror game. Yeah. It has roots in previous consoles, but there was a previous version last generation that I don't know how well it did or anything, but it made a little splash, enough of a splash for THQ Nordic to want to go ahead and gobble up the IP for themselves and try to make something out of it. Because that's definitely something that they've been doing. Every time they gain a new IP, they are ready to work on it and put out a product, whether it's a re-release, a remaster, or a sequel. So I mean, this is pretty cool. Hopefully, they don't run into the same issues with publishing rights with these IPs like they did with Kingdoms of Amalur.
Kingdom of Amalur.
Amalur. Yeah, we don't know how to pronounce it. Somebody in the comments, please tell us how. But yeah, this is cool. It proves that THQ is, THQ Nordic, I should say, is ready to work.
Yeah, they're definitely filling out their portfolio. And the second game they picked up, or the second IP, is Act of War.
Yeah, Act of War.
It's an RTS game. And the interesting thing about this is it had a story written by a retired U.S. Air Force captain and New York Times bestseller. So that's where the claim to fame is. I don't know how popular the game was way back when, but it does have some kind of pedigree attached to it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm pretty sure the RTS gamers out there are clamoring for something new to play, especially with Command and Conquer going the way of the dodo.
Well, they got the mobile Command and Conquer, right?
Don't know why I want to play that trash. But yeah, this will be pretty interesting to see. I really hope that THQ doesn't, just get too big for their britches and just gobble up all these IPs and then does nothing with them and then it just crumbles. I really don't want to see that for these guys. Because it's every week they're talking about new IPs that
they're snatching up, and the thing is, and it was said in the chat that Alone in the Dark wasn't that well received.
No.
So in Act of War, nobody ever really heard about that. But I mean, Alone in the Dark at least has the cachet in its name. People will see that name like, oh, I remember that.
I remember that, yeah.
Right. So these IPs that they're buying aren't bank breakers.
Yeah, no, they're not like AAA
right
IPs at all.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that they can't do good things with it. I mean, I'm still looking forward to Darksiders 3, which is going to tell the story of the female horseman of Apocalypse. I cannot wait to play it because I've been a big fan of the first two. And we'll have to wait and see what they do with this. I mean, they've proven over and over again that they are trying to become the next big publisher out there. They're trying to become the next like EA or at least the next Activision or Ubisoft or something like that. And I'm all for it, man.
Yeah, they're trying to get on that level, but the proof is in the pudding. I mean, they have some and we'll see what this.
Man, your mic is breaking in and out. I don't know what's going on, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah. But to end the story, I can't wait to see what they make out of it. I mean, I'm due for a good spook. So Alone in the Dark remake or sequel doesn't seem too far off. Plus, we have our horror streamathon coming very soon. So maybe in the next couple of years, we can add this one to the list. That'd be dope. All right, and our last story in our quick hits deals with Valve. We're talking about Valve and Steam once again, because news just came out that they're going to start moderating forum comments.
Right.
And this is weird because they are doing the most to not moderate their actual marketplace and curate it, for consumers, but they want to moderate what you say on their forums. Right. Which is very odd.
Right. So yeah, for the longest time, they were just hands off. They will only look at stuff that was and apparently this is something that developers have asked for.
Okay.
Developers like, hey, we want you to do this. So it looks like they're gonna put their hands in there, they're gonna add some moderators. So you dudes on Steam that's talking crazy, your days are coming. Your days are numbered.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the way that it is right now because you see the actual review and then you see the user reviews and a lot of it kind of allows me to balance whether or not I want to purchase something based on what I'm reading down in the comments. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, but the problem is with the comments, and this is specifically I think for the forum with both of those things is when people are putting. Somebody puts a review on the game, they don't have it for maybe they have it for PlayStation, and the issue they have on PlayStation is unique to PlayStation or Xbox, and they put it on the Steam. That's problematic. But on top of that, it's the internet, and people go on these comments and they go on these forums and they do the most for no reason at all.
Oh yeah, There's been plenty of hate reviews on games because of any particular issue. So yeah, that's definitely a thing.
Right. So it's I don't have a problem with it.
I didn't hear half of that sentence, man.
I don't know why they're going to do this and they're not going to put in the work to curate the games.
Exactly.
And
why
off the store out of the
right
store.
Why moderate discussion boards but not moderate the actual marketplace? They're gonna leave that up to the consumers. We're gonna leave that up to you. If you don't want it there, vote it out. But it's you can't leave the discussion board up to the users. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I don't know. When you're Valve, I guess you can just get away with anything. It's just weird how things are working over there. Valve and Steam as a whole has just seemed more and more less compelling to me. As we've been going through these stories and, just hearing about some of the changes that they've been doing, it just doesn't seem like, the place that it used to be, the place that I want to go and, buy my games. Luckily for me, I'm a console player, so, right. It doesn't matter which platform I'm actually playing on. I just go where my friends are. So if my friends are going to get something on PC, I'll get it on PC. Right. If not, then I'll just get it on console and do my thing. But, for avid, PC gamers that, go onto the marketplace and actually try to go search for games and, have to curate it for themselves, that's just weird for me. I don't know. I like a system in place where it's curated based on my previous purchases and not something that I have to go in and like click on my own and, I don't know. That's just me though. And in 2018, I feel like that should be possible.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's just my personal preference.
I don't know. I think, whatever. It's just I don't know. I just don't. It's like they just every other week they're flip flopping. They're contradicting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just like Mount Love was saying in the comments here.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if it means improving the platform, but the thing is, I don't see the improvements.
Right.
That's the problem. Is it improving the platform, the users, or is it improving the platform for Valve, or better known as cutting costs?
Cutting cost or alleviating backlash. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see about this. But I mean, I have one Steam game or two maybe.
2 Steam games? Oh yeah, because like your whole account got you couldn't get back into it or something, right?
Yeah, I lost it all. I don't care about those. I mean, the only game that was probably on there that I probably had any care for was like the Battlefield 2 series. That's like a 10, 12-year-old game. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, and if you ever want to get it again, this is a drop in the bucket, right?
I won't be getting it again. Why would
okay. All right, well, those were our quick hits. You guys can let us know what your thoughts are on these stories down in the comment section below if you're watching us on YouTube.